What's going on, everybody? Wild times in the days of Rocket League as we have our first in-game update in what feels like forever. Yeah, you heard it right. They're actually making changes to the game of Rocket League, things that affect the way the game is played. We haven't seen an update like this in a very long time, and this is honestly a requested feature to some degree. Now, in Rocket League, there are two things that we don't have displayed when we play. Number one is the boost. We don't know how much our teammates have. We have to rely on communication, hence the spam of need boost or whatever else when people are boost starved on defense. You also see this being a very core thing with communication when it comes to pro play. Pro players always say back 100, this, that, basically articulating that, hey, they have boost or not, because it's the only resource in the game. It is the only thing that we can do to better optimize our play. Having boost allows us to aerial, allows us to do all these additional things that we can't normally do otherwise. And because it is the only resource, it is also the most important. Second thing is flip resets. We have no display for flip resets. And there has been a lot of conversation about, should we display the flip reset? Should it showcase that you have your reset available? I think it'd be great for the spectator, but I don't think it should necessarily be in the actual game, because I think it's a skill thing, knowing when or when not. And that kind of same core conversation is now surrounding this new update. If you guys don't know what I'm alluding to, starting today, nameplates of your teammates will show how much boost they have left. So you guys can see it displayed here after Bandit the bot whiffs, but on his nameplate, there's a little circle next to his name that shows boost. And there's been a lot of conversation as well about, should there be better ways to display that or not? A person in particular that follows me, who has been in the space for a while, has actually come up with some ideas of other ways it can be displayed. If it should be an all-encompassing around, if it should just remove like this. I personally like this one, if I had to say. There's also something along this way where there's an actual meter. Shoutouts to Arito, by the way. But there's a couple different options. I think I like this one the most, in my opinion. Visually, it's the least intrusive. It looks clean. I think it's easily implemented. The way that they're doing it is it will be a circle with a meter, and while it will not give you an exact amount, it will give you a general idea of portions of how much they have. On top of that update, they are also changing the rarity names to be further in line with whatever. I don't exactly know what the terminology is. The only one that makes real sense is like car terminology, where it's like, no longer are the days of common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and limited. To me, I think this is more like gamer terminology. This is more like in line with cars type of packages, like Sarv is saying in chat. So I kind of agree with that one. But we take a look at the actual blog post. It shows an example of two cars right now with the different visuals for those. But overall, it's interesting to see how this one's going to be applied. They talk about how this core change, we feel visible boost levels will lessen confusion between teammates. And that conversation has basically brought the attention of a lot of different creators and stuff. Overall, the conversation, I think, stemmed mostly from AJ and apparently Jack talking about how, you know, I'm kind of unhesitant of this. It changes the skill ceiling. Skill ceiling basically implying, like, in the past, this is something that you basically had to manually track. When it wasn't, you weren't like watching the other player and being like, okay, he got 12, he got 24, he got 36. Oh, he's got 100 now. It was more so like just a checks and balance system of like, okay, he took back corner boost. That boost should be up around this time. He is capable of doing a thing. And now, while it doesn't affect the opposing team, like I can't look at the person on the other side of the field and be like, oh, he has this much boost. It will help you with your teammates. I personally am on the side of this being a beneficial thing. I think overall, having the general skill level of the community increase and be a bit more accessible, I think is a good thing. I do also think that it's going to cause a little bit of toxicity. I will not be surprised if you whiff the ball and you have plenty of boost to make that save, probably going to get chirped for it. But I'm also fully expecting that my teammate who has more than plenty boost to also cut rotation, take the boost in front of me with 100, and then still flame me for it. That is still going to happen. That person is just a different breed. So I think there is a lot of things that this could do. I do think we are going to, and something that I'm excited to watch is how the general level of play increases based upon the information that is provided. The way I think about it as an analyst is if I'm watching my teammate and I know my teammate has boost, that allows me to position in a way to say, okay, he has an additional touch. He can continue to air dribble. I think of it as like delayed air dribbles, right? Guy goes off the sidewall, he starts to boost, and then he stops, and then all of a sudden he starts going again, and now I'm in position underneath him because I thought he was stopping, and now we're both double committing. That's no longer the case. Now I can see that and move to the side and be like, okay, he's going to take his play, he's going to continue to do what he wants to, he has plenty of boost to work with. And the complete opposite of that as well. If he goes for an aerial or he's doing this thing and he doesn't have boost, and I can see that, that means I don't have to wait for this to technically be a pass. I can go and intercept it and try to put on a shot so it doesn't just fall in the other team's lap. So I think that evolution and that conversation between teams, especially in casuals or in pubs or public lobbies, I think is going to continue to see a general accessibility for the community to get better as they find out how to utilize this information. And when it comes to the pro scene, I think this is stuff that is communicated already. I don't necessarily agree with AJ and them saying that it's ruining the skill ceiling, this and that. I think it is much easier to understand that, hey, you know exactly how much they have already. What the other team has is no different. So I think communication, the way that they go about it, is all going to stay the same. The conversation then further steered into, as I mentioned, the flip reset indication. And should we display if you have a flip or not, which I think for the spectator would be amazing for us just watching, but not for the other people that are actually in game. I think it is a skill knowing when and when not you connect with a flip reset. And I think it should stay that way. It goes into the meta or the evolution or the chess match of this game. On the other side of it, though, there does provide some concerns for the pro scene with this being displayed. As of right now, there is no spectator spot for coaches. Coaches do not have the ability to be in-game to watch the matches. So the client that they are being sent is just a live feed of the game that is then reprocessed to them via Discord or wherever they're processing it with Blast. The problem is if they are being sent a spectator client, if those boost meters are being shown, that can be a competitive advantage, because then in those moments, I have the ability of saying, hey, this guy is going for a thing. Can he make the save? Can he jump? Can he not jump? Like, if there's a guy back on rotation that's low, I can tell my teammates as a coach and be like, he has no boost. And that allows me to do some things like keep it out of reach for him. It's a competitive advantage. So I don't know how these things are going to be showcased. We'll find out literally this weekend, or technically today if you pull up a lobby and you go into spectate. But I'm curious on what kind of adjustments these have. But it just goes back to the fact that there is some major updates that still need to happen. They still need to implement some things, especially like spectator slots, where it is spectator specific for coaches, where they can only see what their team has. They can't see the other team's boost, things like that give a competitive advantage. But it is cool. It is very cool to see for the first time in a very long time an update to the game itself. Like, this will change the way the game is played. Will it be massive? I don't know, but I think knowing how much your teammates have, the fact that you don't have to communicate it, the fact that it is inherently there, is going to be a positive thing. But I'm curious on what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys feel about how good or how bad it's going to be. Is it going to be problematic, or are you guys just expecting to get flamed when you whiff the ball, which you probably should be for anyway. Jokes aside, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications, more updates and stuff coming to your faces soon, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.